Good evening. 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 We'll wait 2-3 minutes and then we'll start. But what you will do is that we will make sure that your pre-university exams go well. You can always watch this video later, because that is equally important. Basic difference between Gandhi's activities. I'll discuss. Ankush, you will see today. Is martial law imposed on or before? It is not. It is done after Vaisakhi. Can I say Gandhiji followed passive resistance? Yes, you can say that. Yes, Seema. Arun, it should be in your dashboard. It isn't. Please write the word in clearly. You want to say that I should write clearly, right? So you need to write clearly to that I write clearly. Rumaiza, that is what you're asking me to do. Any optional can take from 3 to 6 months. Government of India 1919 accept all demands of Lucknow Pact. If no, what are they? They wanted. They. When did I say that Lucknow Pact demands were accepted by 1919? Email me once, Arun. I'll try to get it sorted. I remember asking you to email. Just send me one more. You have any background in sociology, Mega? You mean interest? Because of you, my internet is coming in history. So thank you. You mean interest? I was like, what is the relationship between history and the internet? You have no idea in optional Mega, for example, sociology. So it can take up to 5 months also, 5 to 6 months. There's no one answer, Kritika, for how to make notes in optional. Perfect, Shelja. There's no particular answer. Every optional is different. We give it 1 more minute and then we start. Sir, should I provide how much time, core time to an unknown optional which never studied in my whole life? 3 months at least. Can I complete Anthro in 3 months? Sure, if you are You have the conviction, why not? Yes, Shelja, it is a little bit more factual but easy. Again, Ashe, write the question better. GOI Act 1919 did not have no relationship with Lucknow Pact. Equally all important. Okay. 11th, 12th class NCRT books, sociology are not representative of optional sociology. Don't judge it like that. So I should write Rumaiza like this. Like this, for example. This Government of India Act 1919. You have the patience for that? How many times devote PSI? Again, don't ask me optional questions. You ask negotiate about optional like it is like how much time, how much this, how much that. There's no answer for that. The simple point is you would have to put in the time as per your interest, as per your what you are doing, what you are referring to. Every optional is different. Abhishek, again, history of your taking, it's a lengthy one, but it's easy. Go through the paper once, look at the syllabus once, and then we can talk about it. Yes, Sabir, enough, more than enough. I wrote some descriptive questions as the way you taught. Got good marks. Perfect, Shreya. So Shreya is telling us that she's getting good marks in mains questions. The way I taught it, perfect. These Byju's can get section. Okay, now. No. Stay away, Shubham, from that. S Chand and all is not good. Okay, now. If you remember, last week we finished. It takes time, 3 to 4 days. Expect to get it back, Ramya. I don't know what you've asked, Ashay. I have not seen your question. Did Gandhiji called? Why did Gandhiji call Rowlatt at Black Act? Rhetorically, Black Act because it's a very bad act. So black bad. Okay. Now last week we finished till Rowlatt Satyagraha, and whilst doing Rowlatt Satyagraha, we were able to cover till Jallianwala Bagh. Till Jallianwala Bagh, we stopped on 13th April 1919. This is where we reached. We talked about different aspects related to the martial law, and we discussed the illegality of the whole concept itself, the impact and the withdrawal of the movement on 18th April 1919. So we have to cover a different timeline today. One, if you remember, I gave you a mixed timeline last time. This we have to now cover the simple straightforward timeline of 1920 to 22. So I'll give you the most simplified timeline of NCM, non-cooperation. It's called non-cooperation. Now, non-cooperation movement, the story starts with the First World War only. You have 1914 to 1918 to 1919 to 1920. And 1920 becomes becomes more elaborate by adding, for example, May 1st August. Thereafter, you have the story of 31st August. Thereafter, September. Then the story of December 1920, and then 5th February 1922. Now, during this period, you have the First World War. And in 1918, Germany surrendered. And in 1919, other than what we had discussed previously, which is Rowlett Satyagraha, and Jallianwala Bagh, we also have what we call as the Treaty of Versailles. It is also the year of Government of India Act 1919. Now, May of 1920, we have another very important treaty, which is called the Treaty of Sevres. And from 1919 onwards till 1920, Khilafat issue was brewing, was becoming more and more pronounced. And on 1st August 1920, finally, the INC considering Khilafat, and Bal Gangadhar Tilak will die. It's a very significant moment related to the story itself. Then INC will informally accept non-cooperation and Khilafat. September, we'll have the Cecil Special Calcutta session, in which INC will formally adopt. December, Nagpur session, non-cooperation formally endorsed, plus changes in INC. And 5th is called Chauri Chaura. This is the first timeline we cover today, and this is the period of the non-cooperation movement. Now, this is basically what we have to cover. We've already covered the 1919 story in quite a lot of details, and I hope you remember what is Dararchy. You remember the Montague Chelmsford reforms, you remember Rowlett, and you remember Jallianwala Bagh and the concept Udham Singh and everything related to that. And one second, I'm just opening this for a new nib. The nib is stopping in between. Pihu, I gave you at that point of time a generic date. I know in the last timeline I write January, but it's actually exactly May. So this is the real date, which is May. Okay. Are we all clear about this? Because then I'll start the story. Come on. Yes. Okay. Now. Okay. Now. The year 1919 is generally important because three things have happened automatically. In 1916, Lucknow Pact had happened, wherein the Congress, INC plus Muslim League were together. We also know till 12th we finish the course. We'll give India independence most probably by Monday, if not Friday for sure. Now 1919, we have the Treaty of Versailles. We have the British victory in the First World War. We also have the Government of India Act 1919. And the biggest jolt which came on 13th April, which is called the Jallianwala Bagh incident. Now, Gandhi could see that by 18th he had to withdraw the movement, withdraws. The point is, this was called the Punjab wrongs. Here, something very dangerous had happened. The British had finally shown their real image, the real picture to everybody. And the Punjab wrongs was something which was there between 18th April to 1920 January. This issue is there in minds of the people that Jallianwala Bagh has happened. It is a very major escalation with regards to that. But if you remember, I told you that the Muslim League and the nationalists, the Muslim nationalists, since the Aligarh movement, since 1860s itself, had been a mild, moderate nationalist, and his idea was mostly dominated by the Aligarh movement. And the Aligarh movement was more about collaboration, or rather cooperation, and loyalty. By 1916, the Muslim League, after 10 years of existence, now think that should we go with the INC or not? And the INC and Muslim League go together. But at the same point of time, the nature of the Muslim nationalist was changing, and the trigger is going to be the First World War. Is going to be the First World War. Now, 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 now. Tell me something. I have to do an exercise with you. I have to do an exercise with you. I create an organization. I create an organization. And I say that there are 3 seats to be filled. All of you in class have to elect somebody. Will you do it? Will you do it? I create an organization. I said you all have to elect 3 people. Will you do it? Yes. If no, no issues. Don't be a part of it. Now, this institution wants another 5 people to go and fight with another institution which has 3 people. Will you fight? Okay, yes, no. Some of you may, some of you won't. Depends. Okay. Now I say that I apply separate electorates here. Will you still be a part of this process? Or would you want to be a part of this process? Yes, no, again, in between. Now, what some of you are doing, some of you are cooperating with me. And some of you are non-cooperating with me. So before you ask me what is non-cooperation, when I say write yes, you write yes. But the Krantikaris in the class, the people who don't care, who think we're too cool to do it, don't do it. So they are non-cooperating and you are cooperating. So some of you cooperate, some of you don't cooperate. So when I say non-cooperation, do you understand what it means? That if you realize one thing, the British created a system. They said, let's play a game. The game is Central Legislative Assembly, Provincial Legislative Assembly. Let's play another game, which is called Council of States. We will play another game, which is ICS. We'll have one more game called Army. We'll send the army to America. Another game. All of this game can only be played when you are cooperating or non-cooperating. When you're cooperating. If you don't cooperate with the people or with the British, all of this seems to be meaningless. All of this seems to be meaningless. Now think of, keep this in your mind and now listen to what I have to say to you. You understand this concept that I created a certain system. If I'm saying to you that system has to exist, and if you are cooperating with me on it, then only that system is going to survive or work. Now, pay attention. The Muslim nationalist is changing. The INC and the Muslim League are together. People are angry about the Punjab wrongs. Now what happens is that World War I is over. And out of the losing powers, yeah, one is Germany, the other one is Austria, and last one is Ottoman Empire. There's a losing power. Why this, that, no, why? I will discuss with you when I'll do world history with you. The central powers, don't have to worry about it. Right now, face value, take it, they lose. Now, these two powers are punished by the Treaty of Versailles, which is considered the worst treaty in this whole world till today. The Treaty of Versailles, the Treaty of Versailles, whatever you want to call it. But now there's a problem. And the problem is that Ottoman Empire ruler is both the political and religious head of Muslims across the world. Throughout the world. What is Treaty of Versailles? Forget about it, Shweta. It's something, it's a bird right now. We'll discuss it when we'll do world history. It's a very big treaty, has a lot of context, worst treaty possible. Just remember that. Now, Ottoman Empire ruler is both the political and religious head. And in history, and in Muslim culture, you call such a ruler who's both the political and religious head as the Khalifa. As the Khalifa. Written like this: Caliphate, Khalifa. Basically, this is a position. This is a position. Khalifa. Now, yeah, like Burj Khalifa. Khalifa, yes. Now, if I am the British and the French, the Ottoman Empire is involved in the First World War. So, would I want to punish the Khalifa? Obviously. So, the British and French are now holding the fate of the Khalifa, and they have all the opportunity to humiliate and destroy his power. Now, if you are a Muslim in Central Asia or in India, how would you feel? How would you feel? You will be feeling hurt, angry, bad. So now, between 1919 and the October of 1919, October, November, and the May of 1920, which was kept as the date of Treaty of Sevres, which would decide the fate of the Khalifa. Between this period, there's a movement which rises in all across Central Asia, but also in India, and it's called the Khilafat movement. Khilafat movement. The word coming from Khalifa Khilafat movement. And the Khilafat movement in India is led by two brothers. Lead it. One is Shaukat and the other one is Muhammad Ali, who are called the Ali brothers. And Ali brothers are the new generation of Muslim nationalists who hate the British and are also anti-imperialistic, meaning that they're not like the Aligarh movement, which is trying to say for loyalty. They believe in action against the state. They are called Khalifa because that is a title they gave it. They like it. For example, like Pope, like Khalifa. It's like the term Khalifa. Khalifa is the political religious head of all Muslims across the world. Like the Pope is the Christian head of, he's the head of all Christians across the world today. Now, the Khilafat movement has a very simple concept wherein they want to protect the office of the Khalifa, who is the spiritual and political head of Muslims across the world. And they say that as a humiliating treaty was pushed on Germany, the same type of humiliation would be pushed on Turkey also. Germany was literally humiliated, which is going to lead to Hitler to rise by 1939. And while seeing what was happening with regards to Germany and Austria and whatever happened with Italy, simple point was Turkey would see the same. Khalifa is a title like Aga Khan, title, Pope, Shankaracharya. There are titles. Title. It's not a place, it's not a name, it is a title. Anybody can be a Khalifa. Now, the demand of the all across the world, the demand of the Khilafat movement or what is called the Khilafat committee under the two brothers is very clear. Which humiliating treaty? Treaty of Versailles. Most humiliating in the world. Don't try to complicate it. Because you are trying to push me into that direction and you really don't want to go that direction because you will say, sir, leave it and come back. So I'm telling you, there's a very big well in front of you. Accept it. Treaty of Versailles is the worst treaty. With me, world history, I will discuss with you in 2 hours. So don't worry about it. That humiliating treaty humiliated Germany. Now there would be some type of treaty which would happen with the Turkish Sultan also, who is the Khalifa. Now Shaukat Ali and Muhammad Ali have only one thing. They are saying, let the Khalifa control Muslim sacred places. Let him have sufficient area to defend himself, which is Arabia, Syria, Iraq, Palestine. This whole sector should be with the Khalifa. And Muslim sovereignty or the Muslim power of the Khalifa should be restored, should be there. You have Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad, Ajmal Khan and Hasrat Mohani, multiple leaders talking about this. We will do world history with me only. Yes. Now Khilafat movement only wants peace, respect, and space for the Khalifa. Now Gandhi, now do you understand what is Khilafat? Do you understand what is the Khilafat movement? Khilafat movement, what is it? So how British French came together, so much enmity? Very good question. $100 question, $1 million, 1 crore. But cannot be answered here, world history. Because a lot of students, when they sit with me in world history, they say, what's the point? That is the point. I cannot talk about that. Because that is a separate issue altogether. But I'll just say one thing. In world history, there are no permanent enemy and allies. There's only personal interest or interest of states. So it may seem to be very difficult to understand, but these two came together. Now, you want to protect the rights of the Khalifa. Now, are we clear about the two issues? I told you last week, there's something called the Punjab wrongs, Jallianwala Bagh. And I've also told you that after the First World War, there's a Khilafat movement between October 1919 to May of 1920. Can I get everybody's yes that we understand the two issues? Khilafat separately and Jallianwala Bagh separately. Yes, we understand it very clearly. Very good. Muslim League not understood. Muslim League is there. Muslim League has got formed in 1906, goes into an alliance by 1916 with the what we call as the INC, has been a useless organization, and the nature of Muslim nationalism was changing, so Muslim League was changing or needed to change. Now Gandhi was sitting in Sabarmati, and on one hand he saw Punjab wrongs, and on the other hand he saw Khilafat. and is Khilafat is an inheritance seat, acquired hereditary position given to different families within the Muslim community. Again, irrelevant question, but sure, why not? Now Gandhi saw these two things. Jallianwala Bagh, Khilafat. He said, Jallianwala Bagh, Khilafat. Jallianwala Bagh, Khilafat. Jallianwala Bagh, Khilafat. I can do something with this. This is Hindu. This is Muslim. Hindu, Muslim. Hindu, Muslim. Hindu, Muslim. He said, इसमें good combination. So, Jallianwala Bagh, Khilafat can do something with this. So what happens is that when the Ali brothers, they ask Gandhi to become the president of all India Khilafat committee, he says, Arey, yes, I was born to do this. I want to be a part of all India Khilafat committee. And he will become intricately related to the Khilafat movement. Now, we'll talk about this later. Now, INC is still in shock of the Punjab wrongs. Is in the shock of the Punjab wrongs. And is no mood to start any movement. But the Khilafat movement is running out of time. The Khilafat movement is running out of time because between this November of 1919 and the May of 1920, pressure needs to be created. So the Khilafat movement, it starts a movement based on Gandhian principles, which is called non-cooperation and boycott. So the idea was, and INC is in the side right now. INC has nothing to do with this. The idea was all Muslims should show their solidarity, which is support. लिख दिया है, don't ask me what is solidarity. Support to the Khalifa and show displeasure and compel the British for a less severe treaty by boycott. And their idea was, we will boycott schools, colleges, councils, is very important, legislative council, and institutions. Was some out of legislative council, was anything something new in Indian history? Boycott of schools, college, institutions, enterprises, was it something new in Indian history? Why is it not new? Except for legislative council, because we are already seen it in Swadeshi. So this boycott is nothing but same template of Swadeshi. Now the Khilafat movement is gaining pace. Gandhi is involved. And boycott is happening. And most importantly, in this boycotting legislative council was, and both provincial and council of state and central legislative assembly is very interesting, because you see, if separate electorates have been given to Muslims and all Muslims don't stand on the separate electorate seats, what will happen? Does the council be, or can the council work? Can the council members be part of the, or the legislative council actually work? If people boycott it, then there will be vacant seats. Vacant seats mean that the drama is not working. Now Khilafat is playing in the corner. Khilafat is playing in the corner. Boycott, boycott, boycott. जैसे INC देख रहा है. INC is looking at boycott, is looking at the Khilafat, and boycott is how you said, sir, I will not say yes. You're boycotting me. I told you to go and fight with an institution where there were 3 members. You said no. So what were you doing at that point of time? You were non-cooperating with me. You said no, sir, we will not fight. So boycott is when you start to not. Boycott is the stepping stone to non-cooperation. I said, take the separate electorate and go and sit in the legislative council. They said no, we will not sit in legislative council. Now INC was looking at this from the side. Looking at from the side, they were like, we can also join. And Gandhi is also saying, come, become a part of Khilafat. Let's make this a Hindu-Muslim thing. Let's make this a Hindu-Muslim thing. Muslims are very, very mobilized over this. Gandhi says that, Are, do you remember Jallianwala Bagh? We should also, INC should pursue non-cooperation for justice over Jallianwala Bagh. Now, if you say that I don't want to give justice to Jallianwala Bagh, you are already saying something very, very big about yourself. So now what Gandhi is trying to do, he is trying to bring Punjab wrongs, INC, and what we call as the Jallianwala Bagh, and is trying to bring in Khilafat, Muslim population, the Hindu population, and the Khilafat movement and the Muslim issue. Common ground he found. He said we all can do non-cooperation. We can do non-cooperation movement. Goal being create pressure on government. Create pressure on government. Now, do you understand Gandhi's strategy? Do you understand Gandhi's strategy? Hindu-Muslim unity. With one stone, he is killing 3 birds. He is bringing in Hindu-Muslim unity also. Separate electorates has been spreading. Communalism has been actually going forward. So he is bringing in Jallianwala Bagh also, Muslim League also, and Hindu-Muslim unity also. Non-cooperation means not to cooperate with the British, yes. So the goal is create pressure on the government. But the problem is that the Treaty of Sevres will happen in May of 1920. It will happen in 1920. Gandhian effort is on. The Khilafat, or rather Turkey or Ottomans will be fragmented, and the Khalifa will be humiliated as powers will be taken. So has been overthrown. Now Khilafat becomes even more aggressive. Khilafat becomes more aggressive, and Gandhi wants INC to be a part of it. But within the INC, there are two issues. INC between November of 1919 till May of 1920 till 1st August 1920, there will be resistance. There will be resistance to INC plus Khilafat from two different angles or two different areas. One is going to be Tilak, and the other is going to be the council, the members of legislative councils. Bal Gangadhar Tilak will be very clear to say, cannot trust the Muslim League, and he said will not take up or allow INC to take up a religious issue. So Bal Gangadhar Tilak is very clear in saying that we cannot and we should not take a religious issue. INC is not about religion. Khilafat is a religious movement. We have nothing to do with religion. We will not take religion. We will not take religion. So Tilak is in very, very, very ardent opposition of this whole movement and INC Khilafat cooperation. And on the other hand, you have people such as Motilal Nehru, the father of Jawaharlal Nehru, C.R. Das, Mazul Haq, Jinha. They are like, this boycott is okay. But what is this boycott of Legislative Council? We fought, we did a lot of things. Somehow we got elected to the Legislative Council. Now you're asking us to resign. So they are showing inertia as you would show after you become an IAS officer. And I tell you that resign in protest. Resign because India lost the World Cup. Resign. IAS officers should resign. Now, think of the feeling which comes inside you. You will remember sitting in front of the screen, watching my face talk about Khilafat. You will go through the every examination you gave, your relatives asking a lot of questions. And you will say, ठीक है, हार गए, चलता है. We lost the World Cup. What is this reason to resign from the IAS? So the members of the legislative councils are like, why do we need to resign? Though if you will ask us to, we will. But why this such a harsh step? But the biggest opposition is Tilak. Bal Gangadhar Tilak says, I will not let the INC bring in this concept of religion into INC until 1st August 1920. He will be the biggest opposition. And that is why till 1st August 1920, there will be no resolution from the INC and there will be no cooperation with Khilafat. But 1st August 1920, Tilak will die. Tilak will die. Now, Gandhi will push the issue more with main resistance gone, and by 31st August 1920, 31st August 1920, the INC will informally, based on Gandhian principles, accept non-cooperation program and all India movement and INC Khilafat cooperation. Gandhi will say, we will create a Tilak Swaraj fund which will be used to achieve Swaraj. To achieve Swaraj. Now the Khilafat program, will be now presented in September of 1920 in a special session, which is Calcutta special session. This was not the session. The INC only meets in December. In Calcutta special session, the INC will formally adopt the non-cooperation movement and program. And the non-cooperation movement is as follows. The program adopted on September 1920 and reasserted in December 1920 Nagpur session, which is going to be the proper session. The following program will be endorsed: boycott of schools and colleges, law courts, justice should be now given by panchayats, boycott of legislative councils, boycott of foreign goods, khadi should be introduced, hand spinning, should give up all government honors and titles. He said that if NCM will succeed, we will go for second mass civil disobedience, which will start with resignation of government services, non-payment of taxes, all India. And he said that if Hindu-Muslim unity is brought together, we will all also remove untouchability. And he said that maybe within a year or 2 years, we will achieve Swaraj. If we follow the whole program, we will achieve Swaraj. We will go from NCM to CDM in between 1920 to 1921, and we will create pressure. All of this has been said by Gandhi. This is Gandhi's program. This is Gandhi's program. NCM question mark. non-cooperation movement. CDM, Civil Disobedience Movement. Civil Disobedience Movement, CDM. Now, the program will formally get endorsed in Nagpur session 1920. And Nagpur session is also important because in Nagpur 1920, the Congress will create a structure which is going to be very significant. The Congress will create now what is called as an year-long Central Working Committee, CWC, sometimes also called the Congress Working Committee, also sometimes called as All India Congress Committee, the AICC. And it said that at provincial level, working committees should be established, PWC, and under that we should have ward working committees. Which is going to the last level from all India to province to the district ward level. District ward level. Ward means 5-7 wards can together make one district. If you've heard the news today in Telangana, the AICC meeting is happening as of right now. All India Congress Committee. But this is not the real Congress. That's a later Congress of Indira Gandhi. This is a structure which has been adopted. They also do one more thing. They reduce the membership fee of Congress or INC and they bring it down to 4 annas. A 15-member committee at the working level, provincial Congress working committee, ward committees. But how will we learn these committees in order? All India, provincial, district. You will become a district collector, district, ward, or ward, district, province, and then AICC. This is all India. Now it will make sense? Okay, very good. But a very important decision which was taken by the INC at this session was that for the first time it said that it will not just have peaceful, legitimate, moderate means. It will now become a body which will seek extra constitutional mass struggle, which is in a way extremist agenda. So the INC forever changed because whilst it endorsed the non-cooperation movement, the Congress changed its character. Under moderates, please, player petition, constitutional protest, please, that was now gone. Now they said we will not plead. We will fight. And we will fight if it is going against the government also, we'll do it. So now you see what has happened. Now let me summarize because I've brought you a very long way away. I'll read the whole thing out to you. I'll give you a summary also. But I hope you are understanding what Gandhi has achieved. What Gandhi has achieved between 1918 and December of 1920, which is that he started with bringing the INC and the Khilafat together. He brings in Punjab wrongs and the Khilafat, brings in Hindu-Muslim unity, and now he has brought two movements together to create the concept of a all India non-cooperation movement. Now, if you understand this, let me then read it out to you. See, the background of this whole movement, I hope that you did. I brought you a long way. I will repeat it to you. Don't worry about that. I'm repeating first repetition, then I'll give you a flow chart. Are we clear? Yes or no? Still little bit of non-cooperation happening, but I presume yes. Okay. Now, the Government of India Act 1919 were more or less useless. Hierarchy was bound to fail, too difficult to imply. Jallianwala Bagh has happened. World War I hardships are coming. With war will come inflation. With inflation will come unemployment. And the Lucknow Pact had already happened, wherein the Muslim League and the INC had come together. New radical Muslim nationalists were rising, such as Muhammad Ali, Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad, Hakim Ajmal Khan, and Hassan Imam. And they were coming out of that conservative Aligarh school and becoming more and more militant in their approach. And the anti-imperialistic sentiment was very high. Now, the Khilafat issue will come up. And we know that Khilafat will be taken up by the two brothers, Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali. Now, in November of 1919, All India Khilafat Conference held its first meeting to talk about boycott of British goods. Then they very simply said that we are boycotting, and the Khilafat movement is based on a peace term in which Turkey is not given a too harsh a concept, and the Khalifa is in a way given favorable terms. And Gandhi will become the president of All India Khilafat Conference and united the issue of Khilafat with non-cooperation, his method. Now, the Congress at this point of time did not want to unite with the Khilafat movement because Tilak opposed this alliance with Muslim leaders over religious issues and had a doubt over Swaraj and Satyagraha himself. He said that Satyagraha doesn't work. I have seen it in Rowlatt Satyagraha. And people such as C.R. Das and other leaders who were part of the council, though they were ready to boycott the elections which were coming and had become part of the councils previously, the simple point was Gandhi got approval over all issues, but Tilak was not ready. And he did not want to go against Tilak. Now, February 1920, a joint Hindu-Muslim delegation will meet the Viceroy, saying that the Khilafat issue should be resolved properly. The mission will fail. And now Gandhi will say that the Punjab wrongs, constitutional advance, had been overshadowed by the Khilafat question, and that he would soon start a movement which would satisfy both the Indian Muslims and the Hindus. May of 1920, the Treaty of Sevres completely dismembers Turkey, and the all-party conference will happen in June of Allahabad, which will say that we will go for boycott of schools, college, law courts, and ask Gandhi to lead it. Now, on 31st August 1920, the Khilafat Committee started a campaign for non-cooperation, and the movement was formally launched after 1st August, Tilak had died. And thereafter, in September, special Calcutta session will approve the Punjab wrongs and Khilafat, and together say Swaraj needs to be established. Now, this is the program which they went forward with. And at the Nagpur session, the INC will say that we can go for extra constitutional mass movement, and it changed its structure along with reducing its fee so that the energy of everybody was behind the Congress. Now, till this point, what I've established to you is this basic timeline. I have told you how from bringing the non-cooperation and bringing the Khilafat together, he had finally succeeded in changing the INC stance and also formally endorsed Khilafat. Now, if you are clear about this, I would then talk about what happened further. What happened further, which is the story part. Which is the story part. Okay. We are clear about this? Out of this whole discussion, if somebody tells you, why was there a delay in INC to accept NCM? What is the core issue behind Khilafat? And what is NCM program? Will you be able to answer these three questions? You can answer these three questions. Don't have to do a thesis on every session. You will be able to do it. And if I ask you how Nagpur session changed Congress or INC, you'll be able to do that also. New structure, new ideas, and non-cooperation had been adopted. Okay. It's not even 150 words. It's about rhetorical question. It's a rhetorical question. So you will be, if somebody on the next time when you are standing on the street, somebody comes and says to you, how did Nagpur session change INC? Or your relative comes and says to you, why did the INC take so long to adopt the Khilafat program or the non-cooperation? You will be able to tell them and show them that you're preparing for UPSC, because they will come up with these useless questions and ask you quiz questions. Where did Gandhiji sit in Sabarmati? Where did he get this and that? But these are relevant questions. So, core issue, what is NM's non-cooperation program? This is the non-cooperation program, which is boycott everything. And the concept that core issue behind Khilafat is Treaty of Sevres, Khilafat or Khalifa. Why did it not get accepted? Because of the one faction not trying to boycott Legislative Council, other is Tilak. And Nagpur changed the structure and the concept. Fear, the one only thing Gandhiji never thought about violence. No, he never talked about violence. Can we, in Khilafat movement, Gandhi is trying to bring both Hindu Muslim together. Then why he supported partition? Value, first not she, he. Ashish, that line which you have given me, this very beautiful question, value loaded, has a lot of propaganda behind it. We'll talk about it by Thursday, Friday. In how much truth is there in that? Because people talk about this quite a lot. Again, misinformation. Partition was inevitable. Gandhi wanted or not wanted it. Can we talk about the things which are happening? Don't have to learn that. Things which are happening. We'll do previous year questions. Don't worry. All is well. It will be done. Don't worry. Previous year will be also done. Don't worry. Previous year questions also done. Don't worry. Okay. Ha. Karo ya maro. Do or die. isn't violence word with Gandhiji. Every batch I get standard things. Why didn't Gandhi not save Bhagat Singh? Why Gandhi said, go and kill yourself? Then how can you say that he did not talk about violence? Standard, Gandhi supported partition. Gandhi did not literally say and go and kill yourself. It was a way of saying. It's like Subhash Chandra Bose did not say, तुम मुझे खून दो मैं तुम्हें आजादी दूंगा. He didn't say that you literally give him blood and he will give you independence. So if you can understand that rhetoric, then you can also understand do or die. But कोई बात नहीं. It's okay. It's okay. Good. Asking questions is good. Take it out of your system. Take it out of your system. It's okay. No issues. Now, can I move forward, discuss the basic smaller things, which is what was happening, what the British tried to do? Okay. Your mother would have multiple times told you, when you would have asked too many things from her, that why don't you suffocate her or just go and galadabado? She would have said that why don't you just suffocate her to death? But have you ever tried to do it? That's her rhetoric of saying that don't burden her so much that you literally go and basically suffocate her. It's a way of saying. It's a way of saying. It's a rhetorical point. Rhetorical point. Okay. Now, based on this, how Nagpur session? How Nagpur session? Nagpur session. Question how? Question change. What Nagpur session? Which Nagpur session? How Nagpur session? Have to be a little bit more clear what you want to say that, Ramya. Okay. Now, this extra constitutional method was something which will not be digested by people. For example, Jinha, he is to everywhere. I told you, everywhere you will see, he will boycott also. He will resign also. Now he's saying that I don't accept the INC being extra constitutional also. Everywhere he was there. He's that one person who's that one character who will be in every group. Yes. Now, no. Now, constitutional was okay. Now, extra constitutional I can't do. Then Annie Besant became too disillusioned. She said, Swaraj within the empire, something I want. G.S. Kapadre and Bipin Chandra Pal will also very simply get disillusioned by the INC. Surendranath Banerjee will also leave the INC. They will set up their own body, which is called Indian National Liberation Federation, but will not work, will become useless over a period of time. Now, when Gandhi had finally got Nagpur session formal approval, he declared that if non-cooperation program was implemented completely, Swaraj will come within a year. He will use the revolutionaries. Revolutionaries will help. The Home Rule League movement people will help. Gandhi was now going around India with Ali brothers by his side, talking about Hindu-Muslim unity. Students left schools, colleges, joined colleges and national colleges and schools. English education was boycotted. New education institutions will be set up by Acharya Narendra Dev, C.R. Das, Lala Lajpat Rai, Zakir Hussain. The National College at Calcutta will be developed with Subhash Chandra Bose as the first principal of this body. And with this, Bose will enter into the National Front itself. As an ICS officer, he had now resigned. And now Subhash Chandra Bose is now going to become a very important personality by becoming the principal of the National College at Calcutta. English cloth was boycotted. Foreign cloth was burnt publicly. Import will fall by half. Khadi cloth was promoted. Khadi charkha was now the symbol of protest. Picketing of liquor shops. Lawyers such as Motilal Nehru, Jawaharlal Nehru, his son, Siya Das, Saifuddin Kichlev, and thereafter Vallabhbhai and Asaf Ali and Rajendra Prasad all will give up their law practice. Social boycott will be done. Tilak Swaraj Fund was oversubscribed. 1 crore rupees had been collected to fight the non-cooperation. 1 crore rupees by the people of India. Congress Volunteers Corps will also be established, which is a parallel police force, which will help the people. And in July of 1921, Ali Brothers is going to ask the army, the Muslims in the army, to stage protest and leave. Gandhi echoed the fact that the local Congress committee should now reflect the issue of or the sentiment of Swaraj. And now the Congress gave the call to local bodies that they should go for civil disobedience if possible. One crore would be a very big amount at that point of time, close to 100 crores in that sense. Now, there will be one more form which will be taken vis-a-vis this non-cooperation. For example, in Midnapur and Guntur, no tax movement will start. In Assam, there will be strikes in the railway company, Assam Bengal Railway Company, with J.M. Sen Gupta as a very important leader. And when the Prince of Wales will come to visit India in 1921, his whole procession will be chased by Indians with stones. He somehow was saved by one turn he took in Bombay. If not, the people would have taken his car and thrown it into the Arabian Sea. So Prince of Wales thought that he will come and drive around in Bombay with all glory and glamour and all this British interest. His car was hurled with stones, and people ran behind the car for kilometers. If somehow people have got hold of his car, with car, Prince of Wales Samet, they would have thrown him into the Arabian Sea. But he escaped that. There will be further multiple ways in which even peasants will rise. For example, Eka movement, Avan Kisan movement, multiple places where there will be new expression of resistance. And now when the people were becoming a little bit more violent, now you can see people are becoming little bit more violent, and Ali Brothers is becoming more and more frustrated. The government will say to Gandhi, you said you don't do violence. Ali Brothers are saying that do violence. How can you be a hypocrite and say that you don't support violence? Ali Brothers are saying violence and you support violence. This was basically trying to wedge a gap between the Khilafat leaders and Gandhi. But Gandhi understood it. He said, I don't know. I don't know what Ali Brothers said. Fake news. And the British will now start to go after the Congress and its members. Till this point, everything is all upbeat. 1922, 1920 to 21, people were like, within 1 year, nationalism coming. Swaraj is coming, Swaraj is coming, Swaraj is coming. Swaraj came. Everybody is following what Gandhi said. Everybody followed what Gandhi said. He said, within 1 year, we'll get Swaraj. But did the British vanish? It did not. The problem is that between 1920 to 21, everybody is now charged. Yes, Gandhi said 1 year we'll get Swaraj, we'll get independence. But 21 November happened. Nothing happened. And by 1922, this movement was now starting to overheat. Something which he had seen previously in South Africa. Now, when you become tired, what is the tendency of the masses when they're tired of constitutional protest? They would tend to do violence. You would have done it also. First, you will sit with it, you will do it, and then you will see that it's not working, they'll throw it away. Have you seen children do that? They'll try to make it work. If it's working, it's okay. If it doesn't work, they will take it and throw it away. Now, this is what is going to happen by 1922. People are getting frustrated. Gandhi said, boycott everything, something will come. Sir, everybody was contributing voluntary. Their non-cooperation, no require of weapons so far. 1 crore is, you still have to give the people who are protesting, who are going into jail, the people who are not no rent. 1 crore, you are thinking what they're doing with it. Nobody's doing nothing with that money. Okay. And why gave the guy, who gave this money? This came from people. 1 rupee, 2 rupee, every Indian contributed, became 1 crore. Somehow you're still stuck on that 1 crore. Ki kiya kya uska? Forget about it. They got 1 crore. They used it to help the poor and the people fighting in the non-cooperation. Can we say that partition of Bengal was Eastern Swadeshi, non-cooperation was all India Swadeshi? Anjan, first it will be Western Swadeshi, not Eastern Swadeshi. And please don't try to wedge Hindu Muslim into Swadeshi movement also. Don't do that. So all people are boycotting all British things. How British able to survive? By looting us. They're getting the revenue, they're getting commercialized property. The British get what they want to get. They were not surviving on just trade. If all this is out of the system, can I talk about Chauri Chora? And then we'll do some previous questions. Okay. Now 1920 to 21, 22, people are not getting Swaraj. People are not getting Swaraj. People are not getting Swaraj. And now something major happens in a small city of, or small town of Chauri Chora. In Chauri Chora, what happened was that there was another non-cooperation crowd fighting against basic issues of rent and police brutality. And what will happen is that on 5th February 1922, one person, the police will shoot on the crowd in order to disperse them. The police were maximum 26, 27. The crowd was more than thousands. Once the people will get shot, the people will say enough is enough. We did boycott, we did school boycott, we did college boycott, we did a lot of boycott. Enough is enough. The people will now chase these policemen into the police station. Once the police will go inside, like in RRR, they will lock themselves inside the police station so that they can evade the people. And now the people will take kerosene, petrol, whatever they could find, pour it on this police station, and they burnt it. And they burnt it. With 26 to 20, 22 to 26, different numbers, 22 to 26 policemen inside. At Chauri Chora, now the people lost hope and showed their frustration. But as soon as Chauri Chora happens, now Gandhi sees that the movement is overheated. And what Gandhi firing by the police on the people burnt the policemen. Listen. Now, when the last time the people burnt some Europeans, what happened? When the last time, I'm not able to remember, short-term Gajini effect is coming in my mind. What did they do? When the last time Europeans were burnt on 10th April 1919, by 13th April, Jallianwala Bagh happened. Now, Gandhi knew what the British were going to do. The Gandhi knew what the British were going to do. So, people call Gandhi a coward. People call Gandhi absurd. People call Gandhi a person who had lost his mind. But Gandhi withdrew the non-cooperation the next day itself. As soon as Chauri Chora happens, Gandhi next day itself says, now we cannot fight because I told you, non-cooperation, the most important principle was violence should not happen, non-violence. So Jawaharlal Nehru said, for example, Subhash Chandra Bose said that violence was happening. Why are you stopping at Chauri Chora? He said, no, Chauri Chora is the line. And what he will do is that he will say that I enticed the people to do this, so I am responsible. And Gandhi will stage arrest and get arrested for 6 years. He will say, I am responsible, take me in. So basically what Gandhi did was, he distracted the British from taking revenge and got himself arrested for 6 years. This is where Gandhi showed a lot of presence of mind. Because if Gandhi would not have shown presence of mind, what would have followed after Chauri Chora would have been a Jallianwala Bagh. So there are a lot of people who say, Gandhi was a coward. He thought non-cooperation was going to fail. Sure, struggle, true struggle. But Gandhi saw something. Gandhi remembered 10th April quickly, how things escalated after 10th April. He will very simply say that I am responsible for Chauri Chaura. I asked the people under sedition, arrest me. So he basically avoided a second Chauri Chaura, or rather he avoided a second Jallianwala Bagh by doing what he did in Chauri Chaura. So a mob of peasants and Khilafat agitators burned 22 policemen alive after they lathi charged on them on 5th February 1922. Congress was planning to go for no tax movement. They were planning to go for CDM. And on 12th February, Gandhi calls off the movement itself. Many nationalists felt that non-cooperation movement should not have been stopped because of isolated incident of violence. Multiple people will be bewildered. Motilal Nehru, Jawaharlal Nehru, Subhash Chandra Bose, C.R. Das, they will say, what is Gandhi doing? Gandhi has lost his mind. They said that it makes no sense. Subhash Chandra Bose said it was a national calamity. And Jawaharlal Nehru felt that the non-cooperation was suspended before it actually started to become something. So still British police were at fault. We cannot say that people were at fault. Fight with the British whilst they keep a gun at your forehead. Tell the British, bhai police walon ne mara pehle. That policemen got done something. That is what the Jallianwala Bagh people were saying to Dyer, right? That first you took Saifuddin Kichlev and the British are going to ask you that should we kill you or not? Or should we not go for something? Whose fault is it? Think about what you are saying. The British, the first thing that comes to their mind is second Jallianwala Bagh. Second Jallianwala Bagh. And this ends the non-cooperation. This ends the non-cooperation. Now, what I want to do with you is very simple. I want to give you a basic summary of Rowlatt and NCM, because once we then come back from this break, I want to then talk about some previous year questions. I'll see. We have to do previous year questions. Where I want to keep them, I will see. But then I want to discuss between 1922 to 25, what is called the aftermath of Chauri Chaura, Gandhi in jail, which is called the concept of Swaraj is no changes. Can we do that? Now, please pay attention. I'm going to re-narrate the story to you. And if you can associate with it, then we will move and take a break. So the story of Rowlatt Satyagraha starts in, now pay attention. Obviously, I can't write it. You have to listen to me. Pay attention. Something is coming out of my mouth. Pay attention. The story of Rowlatt starts with Defense of India Act 1915. That was the father of the act itself. And the father of the act was based on a lot of power to the extremists, to the executives. And it was used during the First World War to destroy the Ghadar movement. Now, a person called Sidney Rowlatt is given the task to decide if there is merit in keeping the concept of the Defense of India Act in a modified form after the war ended in 1918. Sidney Rowlatt gave the mandate under the Sedition Committee or the Rowlatt Committee that yes, it can be taken forward, and that will be, or the Defense of India Act will change into what is called an Anarchical and Revolutionary Crimes Act 1919. It will be passed in January February of 1919. And now Gandhi will see an opportunity in the Rowlatt Act, because the Rowlatt Act was an act which impacted everybody, was a draconian law which took everybody's civil liberties away. No habeas corpus, no vakil, no dalil, no appeal. Now Gandhi will use it to say that on 6th April 1919, we will go for all India Hartal. That will be Gandhi's launch at the national movement, and the Rowlatt Satyagraha was the first national movement which was based on mass nationalism. Gandhi thereafter, what will do is that he'll say that we will go for a non-violent peaceful protest across India, and 6th April 1919 will be very successful. However, in different places, violence was happening, but our attention goes towards Punjab. In Punjab, where Punjabis were expecting something out of their effort of helping the British in the First World War, the British will give them the stick called Rowlatt Act, and in Punjab there was a lot of resentment. On 9th April 1919, their very beloved leaders, Dr. Satyapal and Saifuddin Kichli, will get arrested under Rowlatt Act and be taken to unknown locations. On 10th April, there will be a clash between the police and the people, and large-scale violence will be followed on 10th April, where the people will kill 5 Europeans, and Marcella Sherwood will be beaten up near a church. The British, the Lieutenant Governor O'Dwyer, will then call a person called Dyer as a military general to Punjab, Amritsar. And now, without launching the martial law itself, without proclaiming martial law, he will now seek revenge and was waiting for a day to come. 13th April was Baisakhi. On Baisakhi Day, what happens is that the British and Dyer see an opportunity. Jallianwala Bagh people are packed, non-political people. Now Dyer seeks revenge by open firing on the people without warning. 1,650 rounds are fired. Close to 2,000 people are dead. Jallianwala Bagh happened. 18th April 1919, Gandhi withdraws Rowlatt Satyagraha because he believes that the British had shown brutality, violence had happened. The people were not ready for a Gandhian struggle itself. Now, this is called Punjab Row. Whilst all of this is happening, the Second World War had ended and the Treaty of Versailles had been signed, which humiliated the Germans and the Austrians a lot, and the Ottomans are also under the list of getting humiliated. Now, from this comes the concept of Khilafat. Khilafat was a movement which wanted to protect the prestige of the Khalifa after 1919 till May of 1920, when the Treaty of Sevres will be signed. In this period, Shaukat Ali and Muhammad Ali will come together to form the All India Khilafat Committee, which will be Gandhi's role also, because Gandhi will become the president. And now Gandhi sees an opportunity to bring Punjab wrongs and the Khilafat movement together, which is based on non-cooperation and boycott. Boycott was not something new. Non-cooperation was therefore a concept which did not come from the INC but the Khilafat movement. Now, Tilak and some members did not want to bring in religious issues and did not want to resign from the concept of legislative council, because boycott of council was one of the programs. But with the Tilak's death, by 31st August 1920, informal approval will come that the INC has endorsed Khilafat and non-cooperation. By September, Calcutta session will happen, formal endorsement of all boycott, and by what we call as December of 1920, Nagpur session, INC will change its goal from constitutional protest to extra constitutional protest, make its structure different, which is 3 levels of different, what we call as administration, with 4 ANAs as the basic membership scheme, so that they could increase their base. Now, with September 1920, with December 1920, once Nagpur session has happened, INC has endorsed NCM. Now NCM goes into full swing. Whilst 1920 to 21, there are different forms. People have left the INC also. Now 1921, Shaukat Ali and Muhammad Ali will say that the Muslims should be in the army should also leave, and little bit of violence will start to happen. People are becoming more and more desperate. The British will try to wedge the INC Khilafat concept by saying that Gandhi, you're endorsing violence. He will say no. But on 5th February 1922, after the people were getting frustrated, Gandhi could see that the movement was going towards struggle, overheating. The 26 to 22 policemen will be burnt alive by a mob of Khilafat and peasant agitators. As soon as that will happen on 13th February, Gandhi is going to withdraw the NCM in amazement to everyone, and get arrested under the sedition law, saying that he was responsible for Chauri Chaura. Chauri Chaura will end the non-cooperation. People will become disillusioned. People will think what has happened. It was a calamity. But Gandhi avoided another Jallianwala Bagh because he knew that the British would retaliate against Chauri Chaura. And this is the story of Rowlatt and non-cooperation. Clear? Okay. If this is clear and this Shankar Mahadevan movement is over, we take a break. When we come back, we now discuss Swarajist no changers, the period between 1922 to 24 and 1925 till 1926, where people did not know what to do. And that is called the period of Swarajist no changers. I will do Megha the previous year questions. To have to wait. And I will surely look for your name in the previous year question leaderboard in the top, because so eager you are, I want to see how you perform generally. So be ready for calling out your name, because you're the only one who's been saying previous year. We'll talk about it. So let's take a break here and let's come back at what? Let's take it as 40. So we come back at 6:50. Right? Okay. Saturday question paper is tough, sir. I made it, so obviously it will be tough. Okay. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Okay. Now there's one more timeline which we need to cover here. This is called the Swaraj's no changer timeline. Quite an interesting one that way. Sir, how much module are rest? Matlab are left. That is what you mean. Okay. This is what? 18. We have one module behind. Matlab 75-70%. And NCM should have been done last week. So you can see 1 hour behind. That you don't have to worry about it. Okay. March of 1922. Then we have December 1922. Then 1st January 1923. After that, we'll post independence is 2 classes. Not a lot. Then September 1923. Then October 1924. Thereafter 6th November 1924 will be sufficient, more than enough. Don't worry. Renovation going on. Yes, very good. Very good observation. Yes. Not on our floor, under our floor. December 1924. Thereafter 1925, 1926, 1927, 1928, 1929. Now, Ritika, still you could go through it once. Now, what are these dates? Hind Swaraj you are talking about, I am an atheist you are talking about. What is Gandhiji's book when it is published? Not one book, multiple books. Okay. What is going on in the background? Concentrate on this. I can also hear it. This is called your attention span. Focus. In the exam hall, there may be a moment in which somebody is going to drill on your head. The examiners, or what we call as invigilator, are going to chit chat. So you will say, stop, I am not able to do it. It's okay. I know it. Okay. Swaraj under British rule. Swaraj under British rule means the concept of that you get partial independence. Jagbandhu, a lot of you, 2 classes for post-independence. When I teach you post-independence, you will realize why it is 2 classes. Don't have to worry about the syllabus. Worry about what I'm teaching you. So there's a role which has been defined here. I am the teacher, you are the student. Let me take the tension of how to complete the syllabus, when to complete it, how many. So don't have to worry about that. So it's a बेमतलब की tension नहीं लेने का. Okay. March of 1922, you have Gandhi arrested. For 6 years. December 1922 is called the Gaya session. Swarajist agenda defeated. Thereafter, 1st Jan 1923 is Swarajist party formed. Thereafter, September is called the compromise within INC over council elections. October 1924, you have government raids on Congress member and leaders. 6th November 1924. In between this, Gandhi will be released. November 1924 is Gandhi endorsed Swarajist agenda. December 1924, Belgaum session, formal endorsement. 1925, now the Swarajists will become problematic. Responsivists and non-responsivists. 1926, Swarajists become weak. 1927, Simon Commission. Why are you not take up when? Ritika, what are you talking about? Write full sentences. Nehru report and 1929 is Jinnah 14 points. Which roundtable conference Gandhi participated? For 10 lakh rupees, this question, second roundtable conference. Are you asking me, or what are you trying to do? Obviously, I would know that. So 1931, we have to reach that. Up to 1928, Nehru is doing. I'll tell you, don't worry. This is not Jawaharlal Nehru. This is his father, Motilal Nehru. 1st Jan, Swarajist party formed. Now, this is basically called the period between NCM and CDM. The period between NCM and CDM. He got released early. A lot of you seem to be upset about that. For doing good work in the jail. And the British realized that he was a nuisance in the jails more than actually being out. It was something he would be better off being out than being in the jail. He was becoming a nuisance there. Doing Swaraj within the jail, the British could not take it. Fast after fast, they were like, isko chhod do, that is better. Leave him. So for good work, for good behavior, he was left early. Now, if you allow me, Ritika, webinar, I'll take it on 19th because I cannot be doing morning batch, evening batch, webinar, and then morning batch. So that is why I've not taken a webinar recently. But after 12th I will be free, 19th I will take it. Okay. At this time, Swaraj is what kind? I will tell you that within the British only. Till December 1929, it is within British. Now, can I talk about this timeline? If I have your permission, can we talk about this period? Okay. Now, Girish, previous year question. No dalil, no vakil, no appeal. Okay. Now, Gandhi, CDM means civil disobedience. Gandhi has withdrawn the movement. So everybody was sharpening their knife. And now Gandhi says, movement is called off. So people don't know what to do now. They thought Swaraj was coming. And on 13th February 1922, Gandhi will stop the movement itself. And by March, he will get arrested. So the INC asked Gandhi, what is your mandate? Whilst you are in jail, we'll keep it forward. All Gandhian leaders said, what is your mandate? And Gandhi said, keep my constructive work alive and keep on following the essence of non-cooperation. So basically he's saying that keep on not cooperating with the British, do my constructive work, which is ashram, the charkha, help the people, all this should be there. Now, one thing was very clear that once Chauri Chora was done and NCM was called off, now the Muslim League and the Muslims will never come together with the INC because they could see that Gandhi could stop a movement in between. And as it is, the Khilafat issue had got fizzed out because a person called Mustafa Kamal Pasha, he will do a revolution in Turkey and Turkey will now become a secular state. Rather than being ruled by a Khalifa, now they threw their Khalifa into the Mediterranean and they said that we want to be a secular state. So Khilafat movement was as it is dying out by that point of time. Now INC is in disarray. It does not know what to do. Gandhi is in the jail, what to do? But in 1922 and in 1924 and in 1920, in these two elections held by the British, did the INC take part in these two elections? No, because of the boycott of council, the non-cooperation movement, the British had these elections, but the INC did not take part. But now C.R. Das and Motilal Nehru realized something. They realized that though the INC did not take part in these elections, still the 145 members were complete, the 60 members were complete, and the provincial legislative councils were complete. What would be the implication of this? If INC is not taking part, someone else is. And if someone else is, what could be the nature of that person who is fighting on these seats? He would be for sure a loyalist. Because if he would not be loyal, he would be part of the non-cooperation movement. So between 1920 to 22, the British got an opportunity to fill all the seats in the Central Legislative Council Council of States and PLC with all loyalists. So now when somebody said to the British whilst they were walking in London, you are a disgrace to the people of India. He said, no. See, all the councils are filled. Indians are being part of the council. Everything is working fine. They are happy to be part of the Indian national. They are happy to be the part of the Indian Council. The government of India Act 1909 is working. 1919 is working. Everything is perfect. So if I look at the Governor General of India and Viceroy and his two legislative councils, the Central Legislative Council and Council of State, and if I look at the governors and their legislative councils, it looks like everything is complete. So from the outside, if somebody says that the Indians are dissatisfied, can the British use this argument that, see, everybody is satisfied, all seats are filled up, they are becoming part of the election process also, and see, we told them in 1917 we will give them representative government. So see, we are teaching the Indians how to be democratic, how to be part of the council. And basically C.R. Das and Motilal Nehru realized that the boycott of the councils is counterproductive. This had been counterproductive. And you would have seen it in your life also, that your sibling would have been a loyalist. You asked for 3 gulab jamuns. Your mother gave 1. You said, I will not eat it because I want 3. She said, eat 1. If not, don't take it. You did not take it in protest, but your brother ate that 1. So you get nothing. So the same way, if INC is not fighting, someone else is fighting. And if someone else is fighting, this was the best period for the British only. Because when the Viceroy used to say India is being ruled by the British, good thing, everybody in the CLC used to say yes. Council of State used to say yes. Everything is perfect, everything is great, everything has never been better. Bum saath saath hai, very good family, very jolly family we are. I'm trying to establish to you that if I have not seen America, it does not mean that that America does not exist. Which means that if INC does not fight the election, someone else does. So you think, are you able to see C.R. Das and Motilal Nehru's argument? Are you able to understand the argument? The argument being very simple, that if we don't fight, someone else fights. And if they fight, see, would it be in the British interest for keeping the INC outside the councils? Everybody tell me. Would it be in the interest of the British to keep the INC outside? Yes. No opposition only. Very good point, Prerna. Very good. The exact word I was looking for. With no council entry for the INC into the Provincial Legislative Council, the Central Legislative Council, or the Council of State, there is no opposition in the legislative process, and only loyalists are contesting election and not creating opposition. And this is basically the argument of the people who are called Swarajists, headed by C.R. Das and Motilal Nehru. And their argument is very straightforward. We should stop the boycott of councils we should stop the boycott of councils, create the legislative councils as a new front of nationalism. Let us oppose and disrupt the working of government of India. What most of the opposition parties today do? Go and start to scream. Just don't let the, if somebody is clicking the picture of the legislative council, it should not seem that everything is perfect. Let us block the government machinery in the legislature. The machinery in legislature. Explain again. Okay. If between 1922 and 1924, the, and now repeating for the last time, it's not very difficult to understand. Between 1922 to 24, the INC has not fought any elections, and they have not entered the provincial legislative council, central legislative council, or the council of state. Therefore, there was no opposition in the legislative process, or only the loyalists were entering into the elections and contesting elections and creating no issue for the British within the legislative machinery. The government of India was working perfectly. The whole structure was working perfectly. Swarajists see this, and their argument is we should stop the boycott of councils, which was mandated under the non-cooperation, and let us now enter the legislative councils again. And this time we will not sit there passing bills, but we will create disruption. We will create disruption. Using the media, using the press, we will remind people that nationalism is still alive. Is still alive. Does this make sense? Swarajist argument makes sense. Everything is written in the PPT also, don't worry. Does this make sense? Are you understanding the logic of the Swarajists who are trying to keep nationalism alive, but now in a new front? Everybody on board? No issues? Yes? Okay. Now, at the Gaya session in December of 1922, C.R. Das and Moti Lal Nehru introduced this concept. Stop the boycott of councils. Now, a opposite faction of the INC called the No Changers oppose it. And the No Changers argument is we cannot stop or divert, or rather not divert, but we cannot stop or alter Gandhi's mandate, and we should not become power hungry and enter councils, because council power will corrupt and nationalism will die. So follow Gandhian path as NCM mandated. So basically, now the INCs got divided into two parts. The INC has got divided into two parts. The two parts now arguing in different directions altogether. One are called the Swarajists. The other one are called the Swarajists. The other one called the No Changers. They converge on the fact that nationalism should be kept alive and disillusionment needs to be removed. But the point is that Swarajists want to end boycott of councils, make legislative councils a new sphere of opposition and new front of nationalism. Keep press interested. People can see INC is active. On the other hand, the no changers are also justified in their understanding, and their understanding is we need to be true to Gandhian work. For example, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Rajendra Prasad did not agree. Gandhian work and the council could corrupt nationalism. Council entry means agree with British. Constructive work of Gandhi. Here you have example C.R. Das, Motilal Nehru. And thereafter, here you have example Rajendra Prasad, Vallabhbhai Patel, so you can see Pandit Renu is not either way. So when an organization divided into two agendas, do they completely oppose themselves or go opposite ways? We will see that. Now, please tell me, if they ask you in the examination, what is the difference between a Swarajist and a no changer? You'll be able to do it? But then I need to just tell you a story of what happens. Will you be able to tell them how both of them are necessary for the nationalist movement? which is the yellow part, but both have different understandings of the concept itself. Yes? Okay. Now, as I told you, when in the Gaya session, the Swarajist agenda is taken, it gets defeated. It gets defeated. No changers don't want to change their understanding. So what they do is that on 1st January 1923, C.R. Das and Motilal Nehru, who were the president and the secretary of the AICC, they will give up or they will resign from that position and form what is called as the Swarajist party. And they will say that if INC does not agree, we will contest outside INC and without INC. Now, if you look at the Swarajists and if you look at this, what is eminent? What is eminent? What does it look like? If I'm a bystander looking at the INC, what does it look like? It looks like a deja vu. And that deja vu is of 1907, which is the Surat split. That now they are going to split. So a split became imminent or anticipated. Ignore it. I know it. I have ears. Don't worry about that. So split became imminent and anticipated. Now in September, the Swarajist and no changes know in September 1923, the Swarajist and no changes know I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything. Now, by September 1923, both sides can see that if they split, if no changers and Swaraj split, it would weaken the resolve of nationalism. That nationalism would become very weak. So basically, in order to avoid a split, they compromise. And the compromise of September 1923 is the concept of the Swarajists can contest elections from within the INC, but no changers will not endorse. So basically, the Swarajists will be seen as a part of the INC only. But none of you asked me this question. No changers represent whom? No changers He represented whom? Gandhi. They were Gandhian followers. But nobody asked me what was Gandhi's take over this. Because it is the no changers who are basically keeping Gandhian movement alive. So the no changers also and the Swarajists both go and meet Gandhi, who's annoying the British through his fasts, and Gandhi outrightly did not endorse or criticize the Swarajists. So basically, he's sitting on the fence. He's neither with the no changes, he's neither with the Swarajists. Because as you can see, the Swarajists do make sense. The Swarajists do make sense. So Gandhi was not very explicit in supporting either party. And in a way, both are right. That is true. In a way, both are right in their own right. So Gandhi doesn't do anything. And now the Swarajists contest elections. And they do very well. They do very well. And the Swarajists enter the council. And after entering the council in huge numbers, they are successful in disrupting government functions. So they are not getting corrupted by the power. Swarajists are still, and Gandhi is still sitting on the fence. Now Gandhi will be released in 1924 for good behavior. But the British will retaliate this Swarajist entry into the council when they will pass an ordinance in 1924 October. An ordinance will come from the Governor General of India, and it will basically raid, harass, and arrest multiple INC leaders. And now this will annoy Gandhi. Now, this will annoy Gandhi quite a lot. And with this, Gandhi on 6th November 1924 will formally endorse that INC should contest elections. And now the no changers, some of them who were eager to be part of the Swarajis, for example, Rajendra Prasad and even Vallabhbhai Patel, now they will also contest elections. And between 1924 and 1925, the Swarajists or now the INC will do extremely well. They will block certain budget movements. They will pass adjournment motions. They will get elected to the speaker position. They will block 3 to 4 important legislations. They will give nationalistic speeches which will be covered by the press. The newspapers will now be flooded with nationalist agenda which was now coming through the parliament, through the Central Legislative Assembly, through the Council of State, through the Provincial Legislative Assembly. Most of the positions which were available to Indian, for example, as mayors or corporation presidents, will also be taken up by the INC. And the INC will very simply go into the council and push the loyalists out. And in a way, the Swarajists were right that the new front of nationalism should be in the legislature. Now, I'll bring the story till this point because something is going to happen in 1925. In the aftermath of the Chauri Chaura incident, now please pay attention, I'm repeating everything again. Most Congress leaders were firmly behind Gandhi but disillusioned. Motilal Nehru and Zia Das will talk about Swaraj Party rejecting Gandhi's leadership in a way. In 1922 March, Gandhi will get arrested for 6 years and will be sent to jail. In 1922, Mustafa Kemal Pasha will rise in Turkey and the caliphate will be abolished in 1924, and therefore rights will be given to women, education will be nationalized, and Turkey will become a secular state. Now two different concepts will emerge. The Congress Khilafat Swaraj Party, as it was called, and they are called the No Changers. One section of them was Siyadas Motilal Nehru Ajmal Khan, who wanted to end the boycott of legislative council so that the nationalists could enter them to expose the basic weakness of the assemblies and use these councils as an arena of political struggle to arouse popular enthusiasm. They used a very important word, end or mend these councils. If the government did not respond to the nationalist demands, then they would obstruct the working of these councils. They were advocating the entry of legislative councils. Who were advocating this are called the Swarajists. On the other hand of the spectrum, you have Vallabhbhai Patel, Rajendra Prasad, Rajaji, which is Raja Gopalachari, M.A. Ansari, who will call No Changers, who wanted to concentrate on the constructive work of Gandhi. No Changers opposed council entry because they believed that will lead to loyalism and corruption of power. Now, this question will be taken up in the Gaya session. It will get defeated. So on 1st January 1923, Siyadas Motilal Nehru will resign and they will become the president and the secretary of the Swaraj Party. The Swarajist argument is very simple. Argue that entering councils won't negate the non-cooperation program, in fact carry the movement into a new front. Entry of nationalists would deter the government from stuffing the councils with undesirable elements and legitimize their own measures. Their only intention was that council was an area of political struggle. They should use it for opposition, not for gradual transformation. The no changer argument is that parliamentary work will negate constructive work, loss of revolutionary zeal, and political corruption. Constructive work would prepare everyone for the next phase, which is civil disobedience. And the no changers who effective head was Gandhi, was in jail and argued for full boycott program and non-cooperation. And when it comes to the compromise, they knew that it would lead to a major split like Surat. So both were in contact with Gandhi, but Gandhi did not want to negate the Swarajists or the no changers. And therefore, they will go for a compromise in Delhi by September of 1923 that the newly constructed legislative assembly and provincial assemblies can be fought with not the Congress but the Swaraj Party as a part of the Congress, within the Congress itself. Now, when we talk about Gandhi's attitude, he has initial opposition to the proposal. In February of 1924, he was released from prison on health grounds and he moved towards reconciliation with the Swarajists but felt that it would be counterproductive. Thereafter, on 25th October 1924, there will be raids which will be conducted on the Congress office, houses of a lot of revolutionaries of Swarajist congressmen, and even Subhash Chandra Bose and S.C. Mitra will get arrested. This will anger Gandhi. And he will now say that the Swarajists are right And on 6th November 1924, he will formally endorse the Swarajist Party, ending this division within the INC. And this will be done at the Belgaum session in December, in which he was himself the president. This is the only session of which Gandhi was president. Thereafter, now the Swarajists will perform very, very well. 42 out of the 101 seats will basically go to the Swarajists. Thereafter, they will emerge as the largest party in Bengal, in Bombay, in Madras, in UP, but not in Madras and Punjab. The Central Legislative Assembly will then also be stuffed by Swarajists by building political fronts. And Jinnah, Liberals, and Madan Mohan Malviya were there again. So you can see Jinnah was again there as an independent fighting for the Legislative Assembly. And everywhere they were able to create certain amount of cohesion and majority. Thereafter, C.R. Das will become the mayor of Calcutta, Subhash Chandra Bose the CEO, Vittal Bhai Patel will become the president of the Bombay Corporation, Vallabh Bhai Patel of Ahmedabad Municipality, Rajendra Prasad of Patna Municipality, and Jawaharlal Nehru of Allahabad Municipality. So you can see how they have stuffed everywhere, removed the loyalists, and this will become the real achievement of the Swarajists and the Swarajist angle, that by forming coalitions, they will basically defeat the government motions on budgetary grants, pass adjournment motions. They will give multiple speeches about civil liberties. Vittal Bhai Patel were going to get elected as a speaker of the Central Legislative Assembly. And they will defeat in 1928 the Public Safety Bill, which was trying to remove certain foreigners who are talking about the British in the negative sense, which I will discuss with you, which are the socialists. And very simply, the Swarajist till this point is a very good story. So I hope that what I've told you, I've got consolidated by what I've read out to you, which is the Swarajist story. Now the Swarajists will go into disarray. They will go into disarray. Are we clear about this? Whatever I told you in the beginning, that Venn diagram is enough to answer any question. I've already given you a timeline. If you see, I've already given you a timeline. I hope that now this timeline makes a little bit of sense. I have to just cover that last section. Can I discuss that? Then we do previous year questions. Till the story till 1924 is clear. Disarray means proper destruction in chaos. Swarajist was Motilal Nehru, but how Jawaharlal Nehru came? Son said contest, standard. Okay. Now, the Swarajists will lose their way. One second. They will lose their way in 1925 end. By this point of time, they will develop two camps. Within the councils, some members, and this is basically this is victory of the British itself. Some members will endorse and encourage communal and religious issues. On the other hand, some Swarajists will oppose and remain neutral. These are called the responsivists, and these are called the non-responsivists. Basically, the British will use Hindu-Muslim issues to create a split in the Swarajists only. So, By 1924-1925, Siya Das was already dead, but there will be widespread communal riots, and that will in turn lead to the Swarajists splitting into two. Responsibilists such as Lala Lajpat Rai, Madan Mohan Malviya, N.C. Kelkar, who wanted to push what we call Hindu interest and Hinduistic politics, while Motilal Nehru was very clear that he does not want to do it. And basically, this will destroy the Swarajist argument by 1925. And after this, they will infight and do nothing generally. Infight and do nothing generally. So you can see whose victory is this. Now, this is basically that if the British have to ever do something, they only have to use one card. And that one card is communal card. As soon as you introduce Hindu-Muslim, we were ready to get divided. Now, the Swarajist story ends here. It's not that the no changers did not do anything. It's not that the no changers did not do anything. Swarajists will start to lose seats because of this approach. And by 1930, they will more or less become useless. Constructive workers, the people who are doing constructive work under no changers, they will also do a lot of things. They will go for young women and tribals and lower caste. They will be brought into the nationalistic fold. You will have the Vedchi Ashram in Bardoli coming up, where Chinmanlal Mehta, Jagatram Dev, and Chinmanlal Bhatt will devote their life in educating the Adivasis there. There you will have also Ravi Shankar Maharaj, who will help the lower caste of the Kheda district. National schools, colleges were also developed. Hindu Muslim unity, boycott, untouchability, all were done. And Khadi Bandar workers, students, Gandhian ashrams came up everywhere. And the fact of the matter remains that by 1927, 1926, there was a need for a shock which could wake up our nationalism. Between 1923 to 1925, it was the Swarajists who kept nationalism alive. Now, does this story make sense to you? Since the beginning, Bhagat Singh, we will discuss tomorrow separately, which is Revolutionary Activities Part 2. That is 28, 29, 30. Now, you think of it. I started with non-cooperation. I, in a way, have been discussing Rowlatt, truce, Jallianwala Bagh, non-cooperation, Chauri Chaura, truce, now disarray. Nobody knows what is happening. Swarajists say, let's enter councils, let's do something. Constructive work is also happening, and Swarajists are doing something. But the British use the communal card, destroy the Swarajists from within. By 1926, it was seeming that maybe nationalism will fizz out, but something major is going to happen. Can I discuss that? I hope this is making sense. I am trying to create a certain logical flow in your mind. And if you will read it from the book, it will seem that you will sleep over it. These are very important sections. I will also show you questions which have come from this area. These are called the many voices of the nation. There's a very interesting question which comes in the examination. 3 times, 4 times it has come in different ways, which is what are the voices of the nation in the 1920s, because 1920s is the problem. 1920s, one voice is Khilafat, one voice is Tilak, one voice is Swarajist, one voice is No Changer, and then I will tell you the other voice is going to be of the revolutionaries. There is multiple voices which are working. They are trying to keep nationalism alive. Wake up. They are saying, wake up, Gandhi, do something. Do something, nationalism is dying. And now the wake-up call is going to come in 1927. Can I discuss that moment? Yes? Okay. Now the wake-up call is called the Indian Statutory Commission. Now, basically, the Indian Statutory Commission had been mandated under the Government of India Act in 1919 to come in 1929. But because the Swarajists had misused the councils, the British preponed it. And what happens is that under a person called John Simon, the Simon Commission or the Indian Statutory Commission will be given the mandate to review and check the working of the British government of India in India. Now, if I have created a product and I give it to you, who will give me more honest opinion, me or you? Honest feedback. You will. So if I have to ask if the government of India is working perfectly, who should the British ask? They should ask the Indians, the INC. But there are 7 members here. All are Britishers. And this will become the new hue and cry that the British have lost their mind. When in 1927, the Indian Statutory Commission will be established, the Montagu-Chelmsford reforms had mandated it after 10 years, but it was going to review the Government of India Act 1919 and suggest legal reform for the future. The problem was that when this commission came to India, having only 7 British MPs with no Indian included, this commission now said we will take 1927, 2 years, and we'll give our report by 1930. But now the INC start to say, go back, Simon. Simon, go back. Go back, Simon. Simon, go back. And now all parts of India, there will be black flags will be shown to the British. Simon, go back. Go back, Simon is going to become the major concept. And now the INC will start to say that the British, this is the British democracy they talk about. They don't even know the D of democracy. Now what happens is that the criticism becomes so much that we can write our own constitution. So now comes the challenge. From the Secretary of State. His name is Birkenhead. Birkenhead says to the INC in 1927 end that if writing a constitution is so easy, you do it. So the INC said, with pleasure. Now, in 1927, 28, they will appoint a small commission. Now the task of writing this constitution will be given to Motilal Nehru. will be given to Motilal Nehru, and he will submit the first mandated constitutional attempt of the INC to write the constitution, and that is called the Nehru Report. So basically, when Secretary of State Lord Birkenhead, I'm extremely sorry for this, it's equally annoying for me, breaks the flow. When he challenged the Indian to produce a constitution that would be acceptable to all, an all-party meeting happened, and in Delhi, they will mandate that Motilal Nehru, along with Tej Bahadur Sapru, Subhash Chandra Bose, A.S. Ene, Mangal Singh, Ali Imam, S. Qureshi, and G.R. Pradhan, they will say that we will write a constitution and we will produce it by 1928, which should be adopted unanimously. Now, do you get the context of the concept of Simon Commission and Nehru Report? Simon Commission comes, we start to laugh. So the British say, you do it, you do it. We say, okay, we were waiting for this only. So we all are on the same page, What is the context of the Nehru Report? Now, the Nehru Report gave a lot of things, but Motilal Nehru displeased his son and Subhash Chandra Bose, Jawaharlal Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose, with one clause. See, he says that when India will be created, we will have linguistic provinces. It rejected the concept of separate electorates. It said it will be joint electorates reserved seat. It said that joint electorate seats for Muslims at the center province, there will be minority. Where there are minority, they will be given more seats, more proportion to the seats itself. They will say we will have responsible government at the center, and it will give 19 fundamental rights, which till today are very, very important. But then Jawaharlal Nehru will hear two words from his father's mouth, which is dominion status on lines with the what has been there in Australia and New Zealand. Now, the Nehru Report has basically endorsed a very dangerous thing. 1927, we get a shot in the arm, and we get the Nehru Report as a form of an answer to the Simon Commission. But now we have asked for dominion status, which is basically Swaraj within the empire. And basically, Jawaharlal Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose will say, who decided on this? Who decided on this? Now, what does dominion status mean? Dominion status would mean that we would have the Prime Minister of India, we would have the Lok Sabha, we would have the Raj Sabha, we would have the CMs, we would have the governors, we would have the Vidhan Sabha, we would have everything, Vidhan Parishad. But the Prime Minister of India would not report to the President, but to the British Crown. So very simply, we would not be, so when you would now, if we were under dominion status, your appointment letter would say that the King of England has the pleasure of appointing you as into the Indian administrative service. Today it says the President of India has the pleasure, because we are a sovereign nation. Under dominion status, we don't go into sovereignty. We go into, in a way, of concept of suzerainty, which is partial independence. Partial independence in the way that we have asked for a status in which India still remains connected to the crown. This conservatism was not expected from Motilal Nehru, but Jawaharlal Nehru will go and say to his father that what are you proposing? Dominion status is not Diwani and Nizamat. Dominion status basically means that you're accepting the ultimate sovereignty of the crown. You are basically a extension of the British Empire or Commonwealth. Meaning that the all power in India is done under whose name? All executive power. Who is the commander in chief of all the armed forces? Who has all ultimate executive power? The de jure power of India lies with the president. The president today holds all power. All action which the prime minister does, the parliament gets the assent of the president, and therefore the president is the ultimate executive. Dominion status changed that. Dominion, if we had accepted Dominion status, our preamble would not have said, we the people of India, give us a constitution which is sovereign socialist democratic republic. No. It was said democratic republic which is this and that. Because we would not be sovereigns. We would not have sovereignty. Real power lies with the PM, sure. Real power lies with the prime minister. But you do it in the name of the president, right? I'm not able to understand Commonwealth Dominion concept. It's a very simple concept. It's a very simple concept. I'll give you a very simple example. President acts as per the advice of the Council of Ministers. I know that. Article 78, 75, everybody knows that. That's not the point. But the president still acts. You tell me, can I call TCS, Tata Resins, Tata Motors, Tisco as different companies? Can I call them that? No. They are subsidiaries. They are subsidiaries of one group, which is the Tata Group. Same way, if in UK is the India would become an extension of the UK. We would become like a subsidiary of the UK. Understand this point very clearly. India would just be one part of the larger British Empire, which has its own prime minister, but the prime minister is not reporting to a president, but reporting to the crown. The parent group, all power disseminates from the UK. I'll repeat this concept to you tomorrow also because I have to tell you Purna Swaraj. But what I want to do right now is I want to just discuss with you the problem which Jawaharlal Nehru sees and Subhash Chandra Bose sees in the Nehru report. The Nehru report has said that we want all of this, but we want not complete independence. We want dominion status. I'll give you a very simple example of this. I'll give you a very, very simple example of this. I've given it to you. I'll give it to you again. Very simple example of it. Think of it like this. You are preparing in Delhi alone. So you have what is called as complete independence. You can do whatever you want to do inside and outside. You can come when you want to come. You can go when you want to go. This is called sovereignty. You have internal and external freedom. India has internal external freedom. We can interact with what we want to interact with the world. We can do what we want to do in India. This is called Purna Swaraj. Complete independence. Now, what Motilal Nehru is asking for is when you're preparing with your parents. Though you have a little bit of internal freedom, whatever you have, as soon as you exit the room which you stay in, you are now accepting the overlordship of your mother and father, and they control your interaction with the world. This is called suzerainty, wherein you accept the power of an overlord. Here, the UK becomes the father and mother, and India becomes the dominion. The word itself comes from dominion. Dominion means geographical extension. Why did Nehru accept dominion status in 1947? That accusation I will let you give to Jawaharlal Nehru when we'll talk about 1947. Again, fully misinformed, we'll talk about that. The simple point is there is a difference between dominion within the Commonwealth, outside the Commonwealth. I will discuss that. Don't worry about that. I will give you enough time to do whatever bashing you want to do. The point I'm trying to say is that Motilal Nehru has asked for dominion. Now, before I go to previous year questions and I will talk about one more joke which happened at this point of time, which is called 14 points Jinha. Can I now stop knowing that you understand what is the context of the Simon Commission, you understand what is the Nehru report, and you understand what is dominion status? Three things I want you to understand. Can I change the topic, do Jinha, and then go to the concept of previous year questions? By taking dominion status, India does not become a suzerain. The UK becomes the suzerain of India. We accept the overlordship of the British. We would never want to have that. Partial independence is what is called as suzerainty, or the concept of dominion. Why INC wants Simon to go back? Because Simon does not have any Indian member. It's a committee which is useless. Now, maybe Motilal Nehru directly jumping to full independence. Yes, Prem, you're right. See, we can't say that Motilal Nehru is a anti-national, because he comes from a certain understanding. He could not imagine, unlike his son, that India could be outside. Dadabhai Naruji said Swaraj within the empire. Home Rule League, Tilak said Home Rule League movement's objective was Swaraj within Commonwealth. So be very clear that they all are, you are a product of your own times. If today you go to your grandfather and say that through this phone, I can send money into your account, they'll be like, how? Because they had not seen the technology which will be available. So this is Purna Swaraj for Motilal Nehru, but he can't understand that something like this can exist. So Motilal Nehru is not doing. See, everybody in the INC accepted this report, even Gandhi. But I will tell you how Jawaharlal Nehru is going to create pressure, and by 1929 he will give what is called the Purna Swaraj resolution. I'll discuss that. It's called the Deepavali Declaration, the Delhi Declaration, and Purna Swaraj resolution. That is what we have to do tomorrow. Tomorrow, our whole concept is going to be CDM, and we'll discuss first Bhagat Singh, revolutionaries, and then go to CDM. Can I now talk about one joke, and then we can talk about do previous year questions? NCM demand was Swaraj was also this type of kind. Nobody was defining Swaraj as of right now. For the first time, the INC got an opportunity to write something. They wrote dominion status, and the young INC members will lose it. Now, before I go to Jinnah, are we clear about this? I want everybody's honest answer. Because this is a fundamental, because I will be teaching August offer, the Cripps mission, all are based on dominion only. And even Irving Declaration. Now, if I am the Muslim League, Re-explain tomorrow. Shubham. Dominion means partial independence, being part of the British somehow or the other. Right, Shubham? Okay. Now, if you are the Muslim League, would you like this report? Why would you not like this report? Give me one straightforward reason. It rejects separate electorates. So now, by Jinnah is everywhere. Now Nehru report is given. Nobody asked Jinnah to do it. Nobody cared if Jinnah did it. And nobody did anything to Jinnah. Very simply, Jinnah did that Dekh Raha Binod. So Jinnah now proposed that the Muslims see. So Jinnah now proposed that the Muslim League should also write its own constitution. So Jinnah proposed that we should also write our own constitution. That Dekh Raha Binod, everybody is writing constitutions. Let us also write a constitution. Nobody asked him to do it. Nobody really cared. He said, if Nehru is doing it, I will also do it. And that is the context of what we call as the Jinnah 14 points. Jinnah said, I do not agree. I do not agree. Jawaharlal Nehru, Subhash Chandra Bose were already very annoyed, but Jinnah says, no. I also want to write. In March of 1929, he will then give his what is called famous 14 points. 14 points. Which is the fact that I will also write. किसी ने बोला नहीं, किसी ने पूछा नहीं, अपने से. He's doing it upon. Nobody asked him. Nobody really cared. Nobody said nothing. No. I will write 14 points. This is going to be the bedrock of Indian Constitution. He is no one. This is basically me writing the Constitution of India at my home. Now you see the beauty of the jokes which Jinnah proposed at that point of time. You see, literal jokes. Federal constitution with residual power with provinces. Now you tell me one thing. Whole of India, Muslim majority or Hindu majority? If you look at the all India level, Hindu majority. But if I have certain states in which there are Muslim population, so it will be either Muslim dominated states or Hindu dominated states, right? So Jinnah never wanted power to be with the center too much because he knew that in center he will never get seats. So federal constitution where there is federalism, power with provinces, exact opposite which happens today. Provincial autonomy. Give every province its autonomy because we can rule them. No constitution amendment by the center without states constituting or concurring with the constitutional amendment. This is basically an American type of understanding. All legislators and elected bodies to have adequate representation of Muslims in every province without reducing the majority of Muslims in anywhere. Adequate representation of Muslims in services, the ICS and self-governing bodies. 1/3 Muslims representation in Central Legislative Assembly. Cabinet of every province should have 1/3 Muslims. Beautiful, separate electorates. No bill resolution passed if 3/4 of the minority community say it is wrong. Any territorial redistribution of Punjab, Bengal, Northwestern Frontier Province, which is Pakistan and Afghanistan, you need Muslim majority. Separation of Sindh from Bombay, again create a new province. Constitutional reform from Baluchistan and Northwestern Frontier Province. Now comes the biggest joke of the century. Full religious freedom to all communities. protection of Muslim rights, religion, culture, education. Only word which he used recurrently in this is Muslim, Muslim, Muslim. But he says, no, no, full freedom. We give full freedom to all communities. How they give it today in Pakistan? Wait. Now, this is called the Jinnah 14-point jokes. So, he was doing stand-up comedy. He gave 14 points to basically demean this whole process itself. Now, today what I've done with you are 4 things. Non-cooperation, Chauri Chaura, Swaraj No Changer, Simon Commission, Nehru Report, 14 points. If these 4 are clear, tomorrow I come with this book called The Trial of Bhagat Singh. My own, I don't know if you know about the approvers or not, my own PhD research is on the Lahore conspiracy case. We will discuss HRA, HSRA, Bhagat Singh, and then move towards the CDM, Dandi March, Gandhi Irwin Pact, and we will end most probably tomorrow by Pune Pact. Acceptable? If acceptable, we can do previous year questions. Sure, sir. You don't need to read this book. I only need it for 2-3 references. Very interesting references. Very, very good book. A.G. Nurani. If you ever love Bhagat Singh, you should read this book. Very beautiful book. Written about the trial, how it happened. I will show you the excerpts, then I will give you the option. Very beautiful written book. Now, 2-3 very, very interesting books have been written about his trial. Very beautifully written. We'll talk about that. Okay. Okay. 2022. Out of these 3 names, one name I have not done with you. I'm already telling you that member is from the HRA. So don't have to worry, but that is not needed. Consider the following freedom fighters. Birendra Kumar Ghosh, Jogesh Chandra Chatterjee, Rash Bihari Bose, who were actively members of the Gadar party. Just last year it came, very easy question. Come on, everybody has to answer. Chinmay will talk about that, yes. अब नहीं drill करेगा. He's not drilling now. 40%, 40%. Okay. The people who have answered these 2, I have one question to you. Birendra Kumar Ghosh or Bindo Ghosh, which body? Yugantar. Only 2 options are left. Who helped Komagata Maro go till Vancouver? That Jogesh Chandra Chatterjee is the member of the HRA. But the people who have answered 1, what do you need? Is this question difficult? Is this question difficult? Mega, question difficult? This is a very easy question. I had given you one slide on which every name was written. If you remember just the Ghosh brothers, you automatically get the answer. A very easy question. Does not need anything out of the box. I know you will say, sir, elimination will not work. That year this question came. So I cannot not do these questions. So sure, but then be very clear in what you want. Only one pair is correct. Or okay. Now this question. I want everybody now above 80-85% all answers. With reference to Swadeshi movement, consider the following statements. Answer is not B, answer is D. It contributed to the revival of the indigenous artisan crafts and industries. The National Council of Education was established as a part of the Swadeshi movement. This should be on your fingertips. Very easy question. Again, very, very easy question. These are freebies. A lot of you have been eagerly waiting for this moment. Please show me your eagerness now. One is a statement which needs implication, and the other one is a direct line from what we've done in the class. 10, 9, 10, 19 and 10%. 68% totally correct. Still not satisfactory number. Was the National Council of Education established? Yes. This is totally correct. I told you National Council of Education. Now comes the second. It contributed to the revival of indigenous artisan craftsman industries. This is an implied statement. Now, if you will go for Swadeshi, if we go for Make in India, does indigenous industries and crafts become better? Easy. Bengal's chemical factory, Bengal steamship company, easy question. Easy. Now, this, if everybody is going to get incorrect, I don't come tomorrow. This cannot be easier than what you have done till this point. The Swadeshi and boycott were adopted as methods of struggle for the first time during the agitation against partition of Bengal, Home Rule League, non-cooperation, visit of the Simon Commission to India. This literally cannot become easier than this. The answer is given in the question itself. If you are getting these wrong, then Dolo 650 will also not help you. Overthinking beyond exception. Muhammad, Muhammad, please don't do this to me. Again, Pavitra, Usna, what are you thinking? 54. अच्छा एक चीज बता दो. What is the year of partition of Bengal? What is the year of partition of Bengal? Usna and Pavitra, what is the year of partition of Bengal? Home Rule League 1916. Non-cooperation 1922-22. 1927. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Which comes first? This or this? नाम में स्वदेशी है यार. स्वदेशी movement partition of Bengal. If you are getting confused in these questions, then you need to seriously think what you're doing here. Ironically, two of these events were done today. Today, Gajni effect on COVID-19 type infection. This is unacceptable. I'll be very clear. If you're doing it as a joke, sure, I'm laughing out loud. I love it. But if you really are not revising, then you start revising. And even after revising, you're getting these questions wrong, then there is a serious issue. No, my connection got lost and everything is not my problem. The point is, okay, you know the answer, very good. The people who answered C, I really want to know what is the logic of answering that question. I really want to know. Because 54% for this type of question is not acceptable. A lot of you wait eagerly for this moment, and when it comes, this is the performance. So what is the issue? If it is revision, please start. If you don't remember that the partition of Bengal movement is called Swadeshi movement, first time it is saying, then there's something fundamentally wrong. Can I move forward? I forgot to read the complete question. Okay. The Montague-Chelmsford proposal were related to. Either be you will give me a new level of understanding, but sure. Ten, 10, 12%. Montague-Chelmsford reforms. Government of India Act 1919. Montague, Chelmsford, Montford. These are free questions. UPSC cannot give you more easy questions than this. What was the main reason for the split in the Indian National Congress at Surat in 1907? Introduction of communalism in Indian politics by Lord Minto. Extremist lack of faith in the capacity of the moderates to negotiate with British government. Foundation of Muslim League. Aurobindo Ghosh's inability to get elected as the president of the Indian National Congress. Okay. And these type of questions are coming. It's not that these type of questions are not coming. Great, better. This is 1907. This is 1909 for someone who wants to know why this is not correct. This is 1906, so it is incorrect. And Aurobindo Ghosh had nothing to do with the presidentship. It was Tilak's inability to become the president. Out of the questions we've done till this point, what is the conclusion here? Are these questions factuals? Or are these questions, are these questions factual? Are these questions, what are these questions? They're just asking you to apply your understanding. That's it. These are not called factual questions. This is called application of knowledge questions. If you just have to simply apply the concept. That's it. Nothing more, nothing big. And what you need is just one revision. If you still can't trust the material, if you still can't trust me, if you still can't trust yourself with the material, then it's a problem. Last question. Okay. With reference to the Rowlatt Satyagraha, which of the statements is correct? The Rowlatt Act was based on the recommendation of the Sedition Committee. In Rowlatt Satyagraha, Gandhi tried to use the Home Rule League. The demonstrations against the Simon Commission coincided with the Rowlatt Satyagraha. Last question. I give you a minute. I give you more time to go through it. You need to tell me the answer. Sayyad, remember the name of the Sydney Rowlatt Committee. Sushmita, remember the class conversation. One of you objected. One of you objected on the, again, 63% totally correct. Have been listening to what I'm trying to say. Rowlatt Act Committee, Sydney Rowlatt Committee was called Sedition Committee, written in the PPT itself. Firstly, this is totally incorrect. Simon Commission is 1927. This is 1919. So 3 automatically goes away. With that, you automatically get to know that 1 is correct, which you already knew. Did not I tell you that Home Rule League was destroyed by Gandhi? That Gandhi used the Home Rule League during the, I've said it multiple times. Young members of the Home Rule League movement were used by the British to destroy, by Gandhi to destroy Home Rule League. So with this, let's look at the leaderboard. Saifuddin, Nikhil, Surendra, Khushi, Himanshu, Daksha, Kartike, Shaik, Parinita, Shailja, very good. Anjan, Shruti, Bhavna, Tabassum, Benjita, Shabbir, Saloni, Anubhav, Srijani, Sanjita, and Shreyank. There will be also more people with rank 1. It only shows the first 4, which is fastest finger first. So I hope that after this exercise, you will basically understand that the questions are not out of the box. It's easy, it's simple, it's straightforward. It just needs conceptual clarity, and we will do more as we go on. My only request to you is just make sure that you're revising. I'm trying to give you a certain vision, and if you try to understand that vision, you understand that logic, you will never ever actually think that it is difficult. Yogi, in a way, true. Yes. Okay. It has all participants. It only shows the first 21. Yeah, it's okay. Okay. Thank you. I will see you tomorrow, same time. And tomorrow we will have exactly 1 week to finish the course by 12th. And we'll see if we need an extra class, that we'll see. Okay. When is test series starting? I think 20th or 24th. The schedule is going to be with you very soon. Okay. History of India, Pakistan, same till 1947. After 1947, it was changed. Yes. Okay. Same. Nothing. There's not nothing called Pakistan on before 1947. Okay. See you. Take care. Bye bye. Revision is key. Yes.